Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Monday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. I am Sean Zimi with SideGigSean.com, where I help you look, start, and grow your side business. Welcome. Hey, how do you like the background, huh? I just found out that, well, I just didn't found out, but I found out a couple days ago that I can play around with the background in StreamYard. So I'm really excited about playing around with the background. So you guys got to tell me if you like this background or not. I like it's Jenny. What are you doing up, Jenny? How are you? Welcome. Good to see you. I'm going to do this live before I fall asleep. You guys know that I have fallen asleep on my lives, I believe, 4 times in all these years. Tonight is not going to be the fifth time, but we're going to get it done. I have a good message for you. So, when I was 15, 16 years old, I had I came home from work. I worked at a gas station. I was 15, 16 years old, and that was my first job. So when I came home, I think it was my 15th birthday or 16th birthday. But when I came home, I was surprised. My parents had got me this jacket that I really liked, right? I think a couple of weeks before that, we had gone to the, I think, mall or store or something, and I had seen this jacket, and I was like, "Oh my god, the jacket is so cool!" Right? I thought it was the coolest thing on the planet, and like most of the time, they said no at the time, right? They're like, "No, you can't have it," and we came home, and I when I got home that day, I still remember it. It just was such a cool jacket. I remember. And the one thing that I really liked, well, two things that I really liked about the jacket was that one, it was camo. It was an army color, like that green army. And the second thing, the coolest thing about this jacket was that it was reversible. Like you could pull it out and wear it both sides. I don't know if you remember anything like that before, but back in the day there were some jackets. I don't know if they still have them now, but there were some jackets that you could wear them inside out, outside in, and it would be still the same. It wouldn't be like you're wearing it inside out. So it was really cool. I loved the jacket because it was, you could reverse it if you would. Um, and with some things, you can do that. You can reverse them and they work just fine. But some things you can't really do that with, right? So most of you may have heard this quote. I'm going to probably kill the quote, but it says, there's a reason why your rear view mirror is smaller than when your windshield, because the past is not a place of residence but a place of education or something like that. I probably ruined that quote, but something like that, right? Like there's a reason why the rear view mirror in your car is smaller than your windshield, right? Now, yeah, that's great and all in theory. Yeah, I see why, but I want you to imagine this. Unlike my reversible jacket, that I could reverse it, right? Let's say, for example, let's just say, for sake of the argument, that in this case, it is like my jacket and you can reverse it, right? Let's say that rear view, you're driving the same car, right? Now your windshield becomes your rear view mirror, and your rear view mirror becomes your windshield. Imagine that. Of course, you're driving forward, right? I was thinking about that today. I don't know, for some reason this jacket thing was on my head today, and I'm like, yeah, imagine if in a car that rear view was here and then the windshield was up there. You would be probably really annoyed. For some of you that can really picture that, you may get annoyed by just kind of just putting yourself in that situation, if you would. You may be like, oh, that's kind of weird, that to have that big rear view in front of you, and well, what am I going to look? I can't just look in the rear view and constantly look back and have this little tiny piece that I can just look forward in. I can't be doing that if I'm going to drive forward, right? That makes sense. So if you're driving forward, it probably makes sense to have your windshield stay your windshield where it's at, and to have your rear view stay as a rear view and as its size and stay where it's at, right? Because you're driving forward. Now, if you're driving backward, what do? You turn back, or you use your rear view, or you use the camera and you back up, right? But then as soon as you want to go forward, what do? You turn around and you look forward. So if you keep that analogy in mind, if you think about that, who in life do you know, past or present, who in life do you know or you have heard of that has lived his or her life aggressively to move backwards, to live backwards? Do you know anybody? Anybody says, you know what? My goal is to live backwards. I just want to be the case of Benjamin Button, if you would. I want to live backwards. So I'm just going to keep looking back. How funny would that sound? That would sound like silly, dumb, right? Don't make any sense. It's like, what? Nobody does that. Nobody lives backwards. It's like you walking everywhere backwards. Why would you do that? Doesn't make any sense. Would you do that? I don't think so. If you do, we really got to talk. That's a whole other life in its own. But if you really think about that, we don't do that in everyday life with our functions, right? With our actions. We don't do that. We moving forward all the time. Even when we're down, depressed, and we really don't think we are moving forward, but we're moving forward because time is going forward. You're not going back, right? So if that's the case, the only place that we are stuck that can actually go back and think back is in our thoughts. Is in our thoughts. Oh, right? Because it's only in our thoughts that we can live in the past. Because physically we can't live in the past. Can you live in the past today? Like, can you live today in like 1835? No, right? So the only place we can live in the past, the only place that we can relate to the past is in our thoughts. It's not our physical or spiritual or anything like that. It's just our thoughts can take us back, leave us there as time moves forward, right? So if that's the case, wouldn't it make more sense to have more control over our thoughts? Probably, right? And this is note to self as well, because sometimes you go through a breakup, you go through a layoff, you go through a health challenge, all through it in 92 days. And it's not fun, right? And it's not fun. And sometimes you get stuck thought wise, right? You get stuck in the past. You get stuck in that relationship that didn't work out. You get stuck in that job that you got laid off from. You get stuck thought wise. You get stuck in the healthy version of you in the past, right? And that's the only place that we can get stuck in the past with, not moving, right? So if that's the case, if you get kind of trapped and stuck in the past, then if you can move your thoughts forward so that they match our actions, or at least the time that's moving, right, then we won't be so stuck in the past, right? Now, I may talk about this now, and I may make it sound like, oh yeah, it's a piece of cake, no problem. I never said it was a piece of cake, right? I never said that. I said, but that would make totally sense, right? Just the same way the car, the windshield, the rear view, yeah, okay, we got that. The only area that you can get stuck in the past is your thoughts, because your physical, your actions, whatever it is, it's moving forward. So if it's your thoughts and you're putting it all together, it's just like, okay, wouldn't it make more sense when I get in that mode or in that situation, I recognize that I catch myself and I pull myself out. And lately I've been doing that a lot. I've been doing my best to catch myself, pray about it, ask for help about it, and say, please, get me out of this mode, get me out of this zone, And for me, that's my call. For you, that may be something else. You may meditate, you may jog around the block or whatever, right? But when you get stuck, when you find yourself stuck, and it's easy to know you're there, right? I mean, it's easy. You're like, oh, I'm stuck in the past. Okay, thought-wise. All right, then I gotta really get out of this mode, right? Or there may be a situation where you're supposed to pick something out from the past. You're supposed to learn or relearn or remember something that it's going to help you actually move forward. That's a different case. But I'm thinking about the times that you and I sit and think about the past, and sit and think about the past, and sit, think about the past, and just sit and think about the past, and we just beat ourselves up, and we get depressed, and we just kind of feel like we're not good enough, we can't do it, and we just get little and little. That's the time when I'm asking you to recognize it and say, you know what, I gotta pull myself out of this situation, pray about it, go walk around, jog, whatever you got to do, and get yourself out of that mode, out of that zone. And I think if you keep the analogy of the windshield and the rear view in mind, I think it'll help. Does it help? Does it help? I don't know. If it helps, drop it in the comments and let me know it helps. Hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value from this. I appreciate you guys. One takeaway, drop down one takeaway from this comments below. Let this feed grow. And if you feel like this is worthy of sharing, do what you got to do. Spread the love, tag a couple people, share it with your peeps. And with that, I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, where I help you look, start, and grow your side business. Signing off. Until tomorrow, when we do it all over again. Much love.